seems unsustainable to pay one guy $40 million. I mean, the Lakers have three guys who are paying $140 million a year. So.
Why has this stream not started yet? That's great. Oh, good. We're live.
From Staten Island University Health Community Ballpark. It's quite the name and it's quite the spot. The New York skyline in the background. We've got tons of cargo ships going by as well. It's a terrific atmosphere here at SIUH Community Park. Austin Rooney alongside Andrew Banstra. And Andrew, we could have one of the most important days of the year, one of the most important days in Blue Crabs history today, clinching a first-half playoff berth.
Yeah, Austin, you said it. It's going to be one of those incredible days. Whether we get closer to clinching a playoff spot or we clinch it today, which very well could happen right here on Staten Island. Thrilled to be here doing it. We've got a ton of rain coming our way. We've had that since 6:30, and that's why we're just now joining you guys. It looks like we're getting closer, though, although the umpires meeting just ended. What are you thinking, Austin?
They said 7 o'clock. They haven't given us an update since, so it's really tough to tell exactly what the time frame is. Only a few players in the Blue Crabs dugout. I'm thinking 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Well, let's go through both the teams' starting lineups as we get into this ball game, starting with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs.
Yeah, the Blue Crabs will lead off with Braxton Lee. It's something that we've seen them do from time to time this year. Seems to be very effective, and Austin, you mentioned it earlier, in many ways this seems to be the best offensive lineup that Southern Maryland has the capacity to put together. Lee leads off playing right field. Batting second, Michael Wilansky, undoubtedly the hottest bat in the Atlantic League right now, wears number 12 and plays second base. In left field, it's Jared Walker, the power hitter, bats third, and he's followed by the designated hitter, David Harris, number 14. Alex Crosby bats fifth. The third baseman wears number 15. And Zach Collier bats sixth in center field. Joe DeLuca, the first baseman, bats seventh, with Ryan Haug, the catcher, batting eighth. And Michael Baca rounding out the lineup, playing shortstop. On the mound for the Blue Crabs, the MLB veteran, Eddie Butler, takes the hill this evening.
Let's run through the lineups for the Staten Island FerryHawks. It's Antoine Duplantis who leads off. He was picked up just over a week ago when Staten Island played in Southern Maryland. It's Stephen Alamace who bats second. He's the DH. Angel Aguilar bats third. He's at third base. Dilson Herrera is the cleanup hitter. He's at first. Ricardo Cespedes in center field. He bats fifth. It's Mario Bautista who bats sixth in right field. Andres Noriega is the seven hitter, followed by Alfredo Reyes. And closing out the order, it's Javier Betancourt.
Now, Austin, I'm trying to give the people a general feel for just how cool that skyline we can see is. Right about the middle of our screen, it's hard to tell, but that's the Statue of Liberty right there, right in the middle of the screen. Over here a little bit more, we've got the Freedom Tower and the Empire State Building right behind a baseball field. It's often called the best view in baseball, and now that we've seen it with our own eyes, Austin, it's kind of hard to argue.
No, I've been to Fenway Park. I've been to a lot of the major league ballparks. I've been to Wrigley. I've been to Yankee Stadium. Been to Citi Field. I think this really takes the cake as far as the best view in baseball. It's better than the best views that Major League Baseball has to offer. It really is.
No, it's very true, but more to the point of today's contest, this is a team in the Staten Island FerryHawks that the Blue Crabs have handled this season. Really, you're not as worried about the Blue Crabs winning today as much as you are hopefully the Ducks losing. Try to explain that situation.
Right, so the magic number for the Blue Crabs is 2, which means that they need any combination of 2 Blue Crabs wins and Ducks losses. So a Blue Crabs win tonight and a Ducks loss would clinch a playoff spot for the Blue Crabs. Also, it would take 2 Blue Crabs wins with 2 Ducks wins to do the same. So let's give you a bit of an update on where things stand in the Long Island Ducks game right now. It started at 6:35 between High Point, who's had a really tough spell, and the Long Island Ducks. The Ducks have scored 2 runs in the first 2 innings, lead that game 2-0 in the top of the third.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to watch, and it seems, again, more than anything, like Southern Maryland probably takes at least 2 in this series just based off of what we've seen from them to this point in the season, facing off against a 15-37 Staten Island FerryHawks team. So it seems, or at least math and what we've seen so far this season, would give us a very strong indication that one way or another this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll see a Blue Crabs clinch. It seems like it's a matter of when.
Yeah, it really does. It's not as much a matter of if as a matter of when. Blue Crabs are 6-0 against Staten Island. The Blue Crabs just saw them in that last 4-game set at home, and they won all 4 games. Now, not only that, but the Blue Crabs are also winners of 8 consecutive games coming into this one. The Blue Crabs with a 4-game sweep over Staten Island, a 3-game sweep of Lancaster, and won the final game way back in West Virginia against the Charleston Dirty Birds. So it's 8 straight for the Blue Crabs. Look to make it 9 straight. But funny enough, this 8-game win streak would have tied the franchise record prior to this season, but the Blue Crabs already have a 12-game win streak this year.
It's really unbelievable, and you brought up a really interesting point. Southern Maryland 6-0 against Staten Island, also 9-0 against Lancaster. Oftentimes people, a general response to that might be, well, those are the 2 of the poorer records in the league. You should be beating them, but oftentimes with a team like the Blue Crabs that's just annihilating everybody, sometimes you'll see them play down to their competition. That's not something at all that you've seen out of this 2022 Blue Crab squad. They've taken care of business, 15-0 against the FerryHawks and the Barnstormers.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. And the funny thing, you mentioned that they're playing teams that are weaker. Well, if you take away those 9 wins the Blue Crabs had over Lancaster and how Lancaster is against the rest of the league, they're right around a 500 ball club.
Right.
So Lancaster really isn't that bad against everybody else, but the Blue Crabs, they've made them look bad this year.
It's truly remarkable. It's been just such an incredibly fun season to this point that we've seen. I mean, I don't really know what could top it compared to what we've seen so far. Obviously, we're looking for the clinch. We're also looking for one of the best records in a half in Atlantic League history, and the Blue Crabs are knocking on the doorstep of that.
Right, so the Blue Crabs come in at 41-12. They're hoping to get to 50 wins, but they're at 41-12. That's a total of 53 games. Now they play 66 and a half, which means they've got 13 games to go. So you're at 41 wins. You've got 13 games left. If you're looking to hit that 50-win milestone,
which is the record and a half.
Right, you need 9 more, but the difference is that Somerset Patriots team that won 50 games was 50-20. So a totally different situation there because they lost far more games than the Blue Crabs would lose if they end up getting to that 50-win marker.
So the the Patriots go 50-20 in that half in 2015, and they would end up making it to the Atlantic League Championship Series that year to face the Blue Crabs, and the Somerset Patriots won the ring that year. So the Blue Crabs here 7 years later looking for some redemption. Either way, even if the Blue Crabs can't reach that 50-win mark, in terms of winning percentage, the best ever in a half was .715, or 71.5%. So that looks awfully good for the Blue Crabs, but nonetheless, I don't really think this team is all that concerned about that. Oftentimes when you talk to these guys and you say, guys, this has been a remarkable season, like what's going on? Generally the response is we're taking it one day, one game at a time, which I would imagine is hard to do when you're winning this often and not getting carried away with it. But in my opinion, that's one of the reasons the Blue Crabs have been able to stay so successful, is because if they've stayed within themselves.
Yeah, they have, and you mentioned that one game at a time mentality, and this team has just been so consistent. If there's one word you can use for this team, it's consistent. They have good pitching night in and night out. They've got strong bullpen every night, and their bats have been really quite good throughout the year. There have been times when some players have been down, but while those other players are down, you've got other guys who are going on hot streaks, and to be able to have match those lows with those highs at the same time have allowed this team to stay at a very high level throughout the year.
And kind of to that point, part of me wants to say like it's a next man up type mentality, but to be honest, I don't even think it's quite that, because when somebody goes down, somebody always steps up, but you never know who it's going to be. Sometimes it's, if our second baseman goes down, Raul Shaw might step up and have a solid game, but all of a sudden Michael Wilansky just goes off out of nowhere. Everybody on this team excels in their own individual role, and I think that's a huge reason why Southern Maryland, can't say it enough, is 41-12.
Right, so I got the winning percentage for the Blue Crabs. You asked me what the winning percentage for the team was before the start of the day. I thought it was the 760s. 774 is their winning percentage right now, and the best winning percentage in Atlantic League history is 714.
Yeah, it's truly unbelievable. The Blue Crabs would need a real skid to see themselves fall out of that. And of course, I guarantee you that nobody on this team even knows that that's a possibility. I mean, I know you and I, before really looking deep into the stat books and getting some help from the Atlantic League Director of Communications, who's fantastic, Steve Shutt. He went back and he found these records for us. And, I mean, we assumed beforehand that this has to be up there for the best, but now knowing it's really pretty remarkable. Another thing that I would point out is when you look at the top 5 in most stats in the Atlantic League right now, you would think just based off of how well this team's playing record-wise that the Blue Crabs would be all over the place in terms of league leaders. That's not necessarily the case. There's a fair amount of them, but David Harris is the only one in top 5 in batting average. Jared Walker's the only in top 5 in home runs. You would just think that the Blue Crabs would be all over the board, and I think that speaks, again, to how much this team is just pitching in every direction and just getting good team wins every night.
All right, you can't say this team hits more home runs than everybody else. You can't say this team hits or has the best ERA in the league. I think that there's a lot of really good pieces throughout this roster up and down, but there's not going to be one stat that's going to completely wow you other than that wins number.
See Eddie Butler out there in right field warming up for his start this evening. Butler, a 5-year MLB veteran and one of the Blue Crab starters this season who has been fantastic. Austin, here's a note for you. Of the top 15 ERAs in the Atlantic League, all 5 starters are in that list.
Yeah, I mean, this is what this Blue Crabs team has been able to do, is be able to have these 5 stars go out every single week. You don't see that from every team. The Blue Crabs have not had any changes in their starting rotation from the beginning of the season. We're looking at Hector Guance, who's the starter for the Staten Island FerryHawks as well tonight. And this is just his second start because they've got a lot of guys coming in and going out. The Blue Crabs roster has remained virtually unchanged since the beginning of the season.
And to that point, I mean, we know, having worked in this league for a couple of years now and working on the roster side of things, the baseball info stuff, I mean, generally you're getting at least one roster change per week, if not more. The last time the Blue Crabs had any roster change, I mean, even sending somebody to the inactive wasn't even this month. It was back on May 31st, which is kind of remarkable. And in many ways, it speaks to just, I mean, it helps cohesion on this team, and I think that plays somewhat of a role.
Right. I mean, the last move they made was picking up Michael Wolanski at the end of May, and I mean, it's been outstanding to see the work he's put in. To have someone like Wolanski at that 2 spot, followed by, preceded by Braxton Lee, and then you go into the middle of that order, and then you have guys like DeLuca and Haug at the bottom of your lineup.
It's unfair.
It really is, because you see guys at the bottom of your lineup, you're like, this is a guy who should be a 3 or a 4 hitter.
Like Ryan Haug hitting 340, I mean, not quite anymore, but this is a guy that's mashing the ball. Same could be said with Joe DeLuca. We're talking a little bit about Wolanski, a guy that's hitting way over 415 games with the Blue Crabs, has been remarkable, and in many ways he's filled that offensive hole that was left when Ruby Silva departed for Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ruby Silva is someone the Blue Crabs fans have gotten to know over the last few years, and he was sort of a staple on the right side of the field, whether it was second base or right field, and the Blue Crabs have managed to fill that void and more with Michael Wolanski at second base. And he has not only created a pop in the lineup, he's got a 14-game hit streak going. So, again, you mentioned that same word.
Crazy.
Consistent. Alex Crosby, another guy who had a 10-game hit streak. He followed up with a 9-game hit streak. That was just snapped 3 days ago on Saturday. He had the day off on Sunday. But to have guys like that who produce every single night, it just makes a massive difference.
I once heard from a college scout, I'm not looking for the guy that can go out one day and go 5 for 5 and then go 0 for the next 2 days and still have a 333 batting average. I'm looking for a guy that can give me a better chance to win every single day, not just somebody who helps every so often. And that's really embodied by a ton of these Blue Crabs. You said Alex Crosby. I couldn't agree more. He embodies that better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, his batting average speaks for itself. He hits over 315. This is back-to-back years now that he's done this. And you see him come to the plate, and you're just like, okay, well, this guy's got a good shot at getting a hit every single time out. He's not going to blow the cover off the ball. He's not going to hit 3 home runs in a game. What he is going to do is he's going to drive that ball to right field to get a lot of base hits.
Well, it does seem as though we're inching at least closer towards game time. As you look at Eddie Butler right now, he's going to start getting on the bullpen mound and start throwing some pitches. So you'd think we're inching up closer to game time. Haven't heard anything one way or another. We're exactly, or almost exactly, an hour past what was originally our scheduled game time. of 6:35.
Yeah, I'd have to hope, that we're getting pretty close. But, guys are running and stretching, and now they're taking their full bullpens from the mound. So I think we all knew it was going to take a little while. I thought it might be a little quicker than this, to be honest. But, we are taking our time here, making sure all the players are stretched out and ready to go. The weather didn't look great last time we checked it, but I think things are going to hopefully start to clear up. The New York weather says that it's going to rain at 7 o'clock and at 8 o'clock, and that it's going to start to taper off around 9 o'clock. There isn't so much rain right now, though.
Right. It seems, at least from up here, to be a playable amount of rain, at least the way it is right now. I can tell you that all the fans are still under the concourse cover. It's going to be tough to say, but it does look like more and more Blue Crabs are starting to find their way onto the field, which is a good sign. We hadn't seen really any of that up until this point.
I'd like to update everybody on the High Point versus Long Island game. It's now a 3-0 Ducks advantage. So, again, for the Blue Crabs to clinch tonight, they would need a Ducks loss and a Blue Crabs win. A Blue Crabs win tonight would get them within 1, and then the Blue Crabs have to win again tomorrow, or a Ducks loss. I think the only thing that would be unfortunate, Andrew, is if the Blue Crabs win tonight and they happen to lose tomorrow, the Ducks lose. You celebrate on a loss a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that would be a little bit different. The other thing that I was thinking is the only good thing that could come out of this rainout, the only good thing, if it is a rainout, would be if Long Island loses tonight, and then we can go into tomorrow knowing, okay, no matter what happens, if we win, we get it today.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And I think we're going to play some baseball here. I really do.
I do too.
Well, let's step aside. We're going to get back for the first pitch. It's the Blue Crabs and the FerryHawks. The first time the Blue Crabs have been on the road at Staten Island University Community Ballpark. Take a look at the skyline. Enjoy, everybody. It's going to be a terrific evening. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. just a couple minutes away from baseball in Staten Island, New York, as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs look to clinch the North Division tonight. With a win from the Blue Crabs tonight and a Ducks loss, they would clinch the Atlantic League North Division and clinch a playoff spot in the process. Well, let's run back through the Blue Crabs lineup and give you a little more info on the starting pitcher for the Staten Island FerryHawks. It's Hector Guantz tonight, as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs turn to Braxton Lee to get things going in the lineup. It's Braxton Lee who leads things off. Michael Wolanski bats second, batting third. It's the left fielder, Jared Walker. The cleanup hitter tonight is David Harris, batting fifth. It's Alex Crosby. The sixth hitter is in center field. That's Zach Collier. Shota Luca is at first base. He bats seventh. Ryan Haug is doing the catching tonight. He bats eighth. The nine hitter is the shortstop. That's Michael Baca. All right, we'll take you around the diamond for the Staten Island FerryHawks. As is Antoine Duplantis out in the left field. In center field, Ricardo Cespedes. In right field, it's Mario Bautista. Third base, the first base, Angel Aguilar at third. Alfredo Reyes, I beg your pardon, at shortstop. Javier Betancourt at second. Dilson Herrera at first. Andres Noriega is doing the catching. And Hector Guantz is on the mound for the FerryHawks. Well, that's just about to get things started. Guantz has pitched as high as Class A. That was back in 2019. As the first pitch is a little bit low and away in the count. 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty Braxton Lee. 1-0 pitch. Line drive foul back to the netting in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike on the MLB veteran who was part of the Miami Marlins organization. So far this year, Guantz has just 1 appearance, went 5 innings against the Blue Crabs. Last time out, this one, line drive, left center field. Duplantis ranges over, and he makes the catch for the first out. Well struck ball from the right fielder, Braxton Lee, but it's right at the left fielder, Antoine Duplantis, and there's 1 away in the top of the first inning. I mean, it's fun to watch baseball here, but you could even just look out in the New York Harbor and the beautiful ships that just keep on passing by here, and the unbelievable New York skyline in the background as the first pitch is a called strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike now on Duplantis. Top of the first inning, no score. 0-1. Swinging a high chopper foul behind home plate. And the bat boy goes out, gathers the ball. My weather app says the rain's in the forecast is coming at 8 o'clock, but no rain to be seen. 100% chance of rain, 100% chance at 8 and 9. 0-2 pitch, that's up and away. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. It does differentiate between heavy rain and light rain. It seems to say it's lighter rain for the next couple of hours. 1-2 pitch, swing and a foul tip into the middle of the catcher, Andres Noriega. And there are 2 away. A strikeout from Hector Guantz. It's his first strikeout of the day. Meanwhile, down in Long Island, or across in Long Island, you go about 30 miles east, it's the Ducks who have a 4-1 lead over High Point. High Point scored 1 run in the top of the 4th inning. They have just 2 hits. The Ducks out hitting them 9-2. Long Island playing some of their best baseball of the season, and it seems to be at the wrong time. First pitch to Jared Walker, a called strike, because unless they can go on some crazy run and the Blue Crabs completely lose out here, they're going to be out of luck in the first half. 0-1 offering. Low for ball 1. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Jared Walker, who has home runs in back-to-back games. 3-run home run in game 2 of the series between the Blue Crabs and the Barnstormers, as the 1-1 pitch is low and in. They motion down to third, and the third base umpire Fred De Jesus says he didn't go around. 2 balls and 1 strike on the lefty Walker. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball over towards second. It's fielded by the second baseman Betancourt. He flips to first. And that ends the top of the first inning. The Blue Crabs go down in order 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Andres Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
So, what do you like about your home?
Practice like hockey. I practice stick handling and sometimes shooting. Mommy. Go outside sometimes. I like playing lacrosse. Playing the switch. I like the scribble. Daddy. I like to build Legos at home. I have the biggest closet. Riding my dirt bike.
We help you home. At Hometown Real Estate, we want to help you and your family home, whatever that takes and whatever that means to you. Give us a call at 888-225-2736 or online at helpyouhomebluecrabs.com.
This is Andres Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
We're back in the bottom of the first inning, no score from Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark. First pitch to Antoine Duplantis, a high pop-up in a shallow left field. It's the shortstop Baca there to make the catch, and there is one away. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are winners of 8 consecutive games. They go for their 9th straight, which would be the second longest winning streak in franchise history. It's Stephen Alamais who comes to the ballpark, who comes to the plate at the ballpark. First pitch called strike on the outside corner from the home plate umpire. That's J.B. Torres. 0-1, ground ball foul, third base side. The count 0-2. We're going to run you through the lineup for the Staten Island FerryHawks. It's Duplantis who bats first. He popped out to shortstop. Stephen Alamais is the designated hitter. He bats second. Angel Aguilar is at third. He's on deck. Dilson Herrera is the cleanup hitter. He plays first base. Batting fifth is Ricardo Cespedes. He's in center field. Mario Bautista is in right field. He bats sixth as the 0-2 pitch is low and away, and the count 1-2. Andres Noriega is batting seventh. He's the catcher. The 8 hitter is Alfredo Reyes. He's at shortstop, and Javier Betancourt closes out the order for the FerryHawks. He plays second base. 1-2 pitch, fouled back. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Stephen Alamais. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. No score from Sioux Community Ballpark. SIUH. 1-2, low and away, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, if it's the Reagan Waldorf, maybe it's the Sioux and Staten Island. 2-2 pitch from Butler. Line drive, right field, down the line. This one tailing. It's a foul ball. Bounces over toward the bullpen in right field. It was a long run for Braxton Lee. He wasn't going to get there. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Eddie Butler is on the mound tonight for the Blue Crabs, we're going to run you through his season so far. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2-2 pitches low. The count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. In the month of June, he's been better. A 3 flat ERA. Back in April, he had a 6.30 ERA. He's going to allow hits. There's no question about that. The 3-2 pitch, wave and a miss, breaking ball. Strike 3 as Alamay swings through that one, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the first inning. We're going to keep you updated on the Ducks games throughout the year, throughout the night, as the Long Island Ducks are trying to stay alive in this first half playoff race. The elimination number is just 2 with 13 games to go. Here comes the 3-hitter. It's Angel Aguilar who steps in from the right side. First pitch, line drive foul. Hard hit up to the sweet level. It nearly cracked a window there. It was so hard hit. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. 2 away in the bottom of the first. Across Eddie Butler's career, played in Major League Baseball, made his debut back in 2014 with the Colorado Rockies. As the 0-1 pitch is away, count 1 ball and 1 strike. Played with Colorado in 2014, 2015, and 2016. Was with the Cubs in 2017 and 2018. Had a brief stint with the Texas Rangers. 1-1 pitch, line drive foul, first base side. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Base paths are empty with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. No score from the community ballpark in Staten Island. 1-2 offering. Low into the dirt, nicely blocked by Haug to keep that ball in front of him. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Formerly known as Richmond County Savings Ballpark. Richmond County Savings Bank is still a sponsor of the Staten Island FerryHawks. Have the scoreboard out in center field, but no longer the name of the park. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, third base side. The count 2-2. They were the name of the park when they were still the Staten Island Yankees. They were the short season affiliate of the New York Yankees until, or through 2020. And then they had the realignment in 2021 of minor league and independent league ballpark, our teams. 2-2 pitch on the ground is short, fielded by Baca. Strong throw to first, and in time to get Angel Aguilar for the final out. Well, the Blue Crabs went down in order in the top of the first. The Staten Island FerryHawks return the favor in the bottom of the first inning. We go to the top of the second. There's no score from Staten Island. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster, and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
we go to the top of the second inning. Blue Crabs send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate in a scoreless ball game. First pitch to David Harris, called strike on the outside corner, and the count no balls and 1 strike. Well, if anyone would like a shout out in today's ball game, just write that down in the YouTube chat. We'd be happy to give you a shout out. The 0-1 pitch may have slipped out of Guantz's hand, and it's up and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike, not close. Butler throwing as high as 93 miles an hour. Guantz in the low 90s. As the 1-1 pitch called strike on the outer half, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. I beg your pardon. Guantz hitting 96 miles, or pitching 96.5 miles an hour. 2-2, that's away. Count. Or the 1-2 was away. Count 2-2. Oh no, I beg your pardon. It is 3-2. Guantz works very quickly. Here's the pitch to Harris. Swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Hector Guantz has consistently been hitting, 94 to 96. To be precise, 96.5, the hardest fastball we've seen from Guantz. And a 3-2 pitch, a little bit low and away. It's ball 4. It's the first base runner for the Blue Crabs as David Harris earns a walk. So 1 on and nobody out as Harris takes first base. Still a scoreless ball game in the top of the second inning. Well, we are very happy you joined us from a terrific view at Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark. Hector Guantz, the pitch to the lefty. Alex Crosby is away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. We saw some massive barges go by that had all of the shipping containers on them. I mean, these are absolutely massive. 1-0 pitch, that's away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. One was maybe only 50 yards away from the center field wall. Very, very close. And of course, the New York skyline in the background. It is possible to hit it into the New York Harbor, although it's only been done a couple of times. 2-0 pitch, line drive, foul, third base side. And it's going to get into the seats, rattles between a couple of seats, and a few fans go chasing after it as it falls down under the seats to the second row. And one lucky fan grabs it. He was standing in the aisle of the third row and picked it up. 2-1 pitch, foul back, count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still nobody out in the top of the second inning. Alex Crosby, the lefty, digs back in. It's a turf field here in Staten Island. Everything, including the foul lines, the base path lines, the logos, everything is turf. 2-2 pitch, ground ball, third base side. It's fielded, throw to second for 1, back on to first, not in time. Aguilar tried to start the double play ball. And there is now 1 away.
Now batting number 8 is fielder Zach Collier, number 8.
Here comes Zach Collier. He plays center field and bats from the left side. Again, we'll keep you updated on that High Point Long Island game all night. We do have another score update in that one. It's now 6-1 Ducks in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Blue Crabs win tonight. A win tomorrow would officially lock things up in the North Division. Pitch, check swing. Did he go around? They motion down to second. And it's the third base umpire in today's ball game, Fred DeJesus, who said he went around. Didn't even do the strike. He just nodded his head. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Bit of a lazy approach. Not even going to move your arms. You're just going to nod your head. 0-1 pitch. Line drive, deep right center field. Back to the warning track. It's over Bautista's head, and it goes to the wall. It is the runner on first. Crosby's waved around to the plate. The throw gets by Noriega, and that's going to allow Collier to advance to third. A run scores for the Blue Crabs, and Southern Maryland is on the board first with one out in the top of the second inning. Well, Zach Collier sent a rocket to the wall. Ray Ortega waved around Alex Crosby. He scores. The Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead. So it's Collier from third with one out. It brings up Joe DeLuca. And if you're DeLuca at this point, there is one goal and one goal only. It is to bring home this run, give the Blue Crabs a 2-0 lead here in the first. First pitch to DeLuca, called strike on the inner half, and the count 0-1. DeLuca, a switch hitter, batting from the left side against the right-handed pitcher Hector Guantz. Guantz gets a sign from his catcher Noriega. 0-1. Called strike on the inner half again. And Joe DeLuca looks back at home plate umpire J.B. Torres saying that's in. The TrackMan technology puts it in the strike zone. Two pitch upcoming to DeLuca, hitting .295 on the year with 4 home runs. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball foul, jammed him in on the hands. Went down the third base side. And the count 0-2. A light rain falling here in Staten Island. 1-0 Blue Crabs. A small crowd, but that's to be expected on a Tuesday night with rain in the forecast. 0-2 pitch popped up third base side. It's going to get out of play toward the concourse level. Fifth pitch of the at-bat coming up to Joe DeLuca, who's had to foul off a couple pitches down on the count 0-2. Collier from third with one out. Blue Crabs already have a 1-0 lead. An RBI double to the gap in right center from Collier. Put Southern Maryland ahead. Guantz to the 0-2. High pop-up foul yet again. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. And that will be pitch number 6 of the at-bat. Guantz trying to overpower DeLuca with the fastball. One on with one out. That runner 90 feet away as the Blue Crabs look to extend the lead. The 0-2 pitch, check swing, and he went around. The third base umpire, Fred DeJesus, rings up Joe DeLuca, and there are 2 away in the top of the second inning. Brings up Ryan Haug, and that moves the FerryHawks infield back. Well, driving in runners on third with less than 2 outs is so important. I will say they have some of the funnier walk-up songs for the opposing team, in this case the Blue Crabs. They're playing Dora the Explorer for opposing teams' walk-ups. I don't know if I've ever heard anything like this. On the middle infield, Reyes and Betancourt back on the outfield grass. As the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. It's not really outfield grass, it's just the green turf. And I understand not having grass for the most part, but I think at least having grass or dirt bases would go a long way. 1-0 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner, count 1 ball and 1 strike. And that means at least as far as having right around second base, having the dirt behind it home plate, having a dirt mound. The mound was actually taken apart before the game. It's not a good look. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball foul, first base side, over toward the Blue Crabs dugout. Players ducking and getting out of the way. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. They took it apart, came apart in like 6 different pieces, and then put it back together. I can say I have never seen a mound taken apart. That is for sure. To be honest, I kind of assumed it was all one piece. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ryan Haug, who goes against a new bat. 1-0 Blue Crabs over the FerryHawks. Runner on third base for Southern Maryland. They already are ahead 1-0. Now getting .325 this year. 2 homers and OPS, just 21 points shy of 1,000. 1-2, wave and a miss at a breaking ball. Guance strikes out Ryan Haug. I'm not sure he knew it. He was looking for the ball back. And it ends the top of the second inning. The Blue Crabs score 1, but they strand 1 on third. It's 1-0 Southern Maryland. As we go to the bottom of the second inning, you're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
This is David Harris, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Bottom of the second inning, the first pitch from Eddie Butler is away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Dilson Herrera, who bats 4th in the FerryHawks order. 1-0 Blue Crabs in the bottom of the second. 1-0 pitch, that's inside. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Historically, Eddie Butler, not someone who struggles all that much with his walks, but he's fallen behind in the count now 3-0 as the 2-0 pitch misses low and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. 3-0, called strike. Just paints the outside corner in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Dilson Herrera, the only former big leaguer in the lineup for the Ducks, or for the Staten Island FerryHawks, I should say. 3-1 pitch, another one on the outer edge. And the count 3-2. That one might have been a little bit outside. 3-2 pitch, ground ball, and Eddie Butler tried to barehand it. Now he does barehand it off the turf. Throw to first is still in time. I'm not sure if Butler didn't have enough time to react with his glove. It hit his bare hand and deflected to the ground to the third base side of the mound. Had the presence of mind to get up and find the ball. And then toss over to first base in time to get Dilson Herrera. Well, 4 up and 4 down for Staten Island. Brings up Ricardo Cespedes. The highest batting average in Staten Island's order is .333. It's not until the bottom of the lineup, though, with Noriega. First pitch swinging, high pop-up foul behind home plate. It's going to find the seats. It almost found the suites. It bounced in that first row of suites on the railing and then fell down into the lower level. The rain has picked up. That is quite visible, and some fans are enjoying stepping in large puddles. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, count 0-2. And there's a solid half-inch or so of standing water over by the Blue Crabs dugout, and all the Blue Crabs standing underneath the dugout. This one, swinging a high fly ball, shallow right field. It's the second baseman called off by the right fielder, Braxton Lee. And there are two away. Michael Wolanski looked like he might have gotten there in time. But instead, it's Braxton Lee who called him off and makes the catch out in shallow right. And there are two away. Well, quickly 2 up and 2 down from Eddie Butler, who's thrown 24 pitches through 1 2/3. A couple of long at-bats, especially back in the first inning, kept his pitch count up. And here comes Mario Bautista. First pitch from Bautista, fouled back to the netting, and the count 0-1. Not as many massive cargo ships going by at this hour. I'm not sure what the schedule is on those cargo ships with the shipping containers. There are thousands upon thousands of shipping containers that cross right by here every day as the 0-1 pitch fouled back and the count 0-2. And in Waldorf, Maryland, you don't see it all that much because we're not all that close to the water. But here in New York, boy, do you ever see it. If the clouds will clear up, you might have an even better view of that skyline in the background. 0-2 pitch, a little bit upstairs, count 1-2. The Blue Crabs won, the FerryHawks nothing. Southern Maryland came through with a RBI double from Zach Collier to the gap in right center field. 1-2 pitch, ground ball, some spin on it, fielded by Crosby over at third base. The throw to first is in time. It beats Bautista by a single step, and that ends the inning. And the bottom of the second. We're finished with 2 from Staten Island University Community Ballpark. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 1-0 lead as we go to the top of the third. Don't go anywhere.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, we go to the top of the third inning. The FerryHawks nothing, the Blue Crabs 1, and Southern Maryland looks to add to that lead a little bit as Michael Baca, the 9-hitter, comes to the plate to get things started. The Blue Crabs scored their first run back in the top of the second inning. First pitch is up and in for ball 1 on Michael Baca. Austin Rooney joined by Andrew Banstra. As the count 1 ball and no strikes, Andrew is down on the field for the first couple innings and now joins us back up in the booth. 1-0. Check swing. They motion down to first. The first base umpire, John Lamantina, says he didn't go around, and the count 2-0.
Beautiful night for some Blue Crabs baseball. Beautiful night for some Blue Crabs baseball. Not at the Reg in Waldorf. How about it in Staten Island?
Yeah, I was saying we should call it the Sioux on Staten, as the 2-0 pitch is upstairs and the count 3-0. What, do you like it or no?
I mean, it's good. It just doesn't roll off the tongue like the Reg in Waldorf.
I'm with you.
Now, some would say the Reg, and those would be wrong.
They would be absolutely wrong. 3-0 pitch, called strike on the outside corner, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Now, Andrew, I was talking about this earlier, but we saw the cargo ship go by a few times. Haven't seen any recently. As a 3-1 pitch, big wave and a miss, and a pitch low in the dirt, count 3-2.
And you and I were having this debate pregame about, are shipping containers really the most effective method? And I was talking with, I'll get to this in a second.
3-2 pitch, line drive, foul, first base side. Count remains 3-2. Go ahead, I want to hear this.
I went to go grab my hoodie during the rain delay, and I was speaking with the bus driver, and he seems to think that there's more than $1 billion worth of cargo potentially on each of those ships.
Yes, I would say easily. Easily. 3-2 pitch, high pop-up into shallow center field. It is the shortstop, Alfredo Reyes, who drifts back onto the outfield grass and makes the catch for the first out. That brings up the top of the lineup. It's Braxton Lee who will step in from the left side. A 1-0 game. Just 2 base runners between these two teams. Blue Crabs' magic number is just 2. We'll give you an update from Long Island. It is in the top of the 5th inning. High Point's gotten a couple runs back, but it's 7-3 in favor of the Ducks. First pitch is away for ball 1 on Braxton Lee, and the count 1-0. So if you're just joining us and just hearing for the first time about this magic number talk, we'll get to that after this pitch. 1-0 pitch. Line drive, hard hit down the left field line, tailing foul. Very well hit from Braxton Lee. Probably had the distance to get out down the left field line, but instead tailed foul. Count 1-1. Well, going back to that last point, though, and here is the 1-1 pitch now. Guantz works very quickly. This one fouled just to the left of us toward the press box in the count 1-2. That one was coming right up towards us, Andrew. And now we'll go back to that point, though, about the magic numbers. The Blue Crabs need a total of 2 wins or Ducks losses. 1-2 pitch. Line drive. That's to shallow left center field. This ball falling quickly, and it one hops in front of Antoine Duplantis. It's a 1-out single from Braxton Lee, and there's 1 on with 1 out in the top of the 3rd. And Michael Wolanski will come to the plate. Wolanski 15 for his last 28. Has 10 RBIs in his last 7 games.
Man, I can't get over 2 things. One, let's start with Wolanski, a guy that struggled on Long Island, comes to the Blue Crabs, has been a real difference maker. But the other thing, this view, man, I just keep looking up. It's gorgeous, unbelievable.
It is, and then once it gets dark, the New York skyline lights up. First pitch is inside, count 1-0. We can already sort of see it with the lights out there and those buildings. And I don't know if you've ever flown into New York at night.
I have, but it's been a really long time.
Yeah, it's a special view. It really is. And to be able to see that every night, it's a real privilege for those here in Staten Island. 1-0 pitch. Motion down to first, and John Lamantina says that he went around on a check swing. It was low and away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, I will tell you, Andrew, I think that we may have seen more strike calls on check swings in this game alone than we've seen all year long.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
I think we've seen 3 or 4, and I don't think we'd seen more than 3 or 4 the entire year. 1-1 pitch is low and in, count 2-1. And I think, honestly, there are a lot more times when the batter goes around than when the umpire normally says so.
It's true. And unless you get an appeal, you're never going to know. Now, a guy like Joe DeLuca, who's not catching tonight, but you'll notice every time almost he'll appeal down.
And almost every time the umpire says no.
It's true.
2-1 pitch to Wolanski. Foul ball off of his right foot as he moved his hip. And he swung. The ball went directly down on that back right foot. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes in the top of the third. 1-0 Blue Crabs. That one came courtesy of Zach Collier back in the top of the second.
And what a rip that was.
He absolutely destroyed that ball to the right center field gap. Guantz tosses over to first to check on Braxton Lee. Yeah, but you mentioned $1 billion worth of cargo. I think that's probably right. Remember that ship that was caught in the Suez Canal 3-4 months ago? How many billions of dollars worth of cargo was that? Do you know?
I don't remember at all.
Well, that's going to be our trivia question today. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Throw down a second is offline. And it's a stolen base for Braxton Lee, as there's now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. 2 at-bats for Wolanski, 2 strikeouts. Not accustomed to seeing this over the last 2 weeks.
Not at all, but a veteran play there in a couple of ways by Braxton Lee. One of which, there's 2 strikes, so you know there's a good chance it's going to be an off-speed pitch. So he decides to swipe second base. Honestly, the throw might have gotten him, but a really smart veteran move. He knows it's slick out, and he knows he's playing on turf. So he slid way early and just absolutely rode the wave all the way to second in order to get in a scoring position.
Well, he dives in safely. Runner on second base and 2 outs. 1-0 Blue Crabs in the top of the third inning. We're going to get to another point in just one moment as Jared Walker digs in from the left side. First pitch is away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. I hear that because it's turf, you got a lot more likelihood of turf burn when you dive.
It's true.
Now, Braxton Lee is not wearing any sleeves or anything. That one might have really hurt.
It might have, but, you know, again, especially when it's wet outside, you have a lot you're not going to get turf burn as often because it's almost like a slip and slide. So if you dive early, you're just going to go.
Very interesting. I have never really played on turf, or not all that much. 1-0 pitch, low and in, count 2 balls and no strikes. I referenced our trivia question. So the question is, how many billions of dollars worth of cargo was on that ship that was caught in the Suez Canal earlier this year?
That might have even been last year.
Was it?
It seems like it was a lot longer ago than you're making it out to be. I could be very wrong.
Well, we're going to get the data on this, believe me. It was July of 2021.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
So on swinging a high fly ball, deep left field, sends Duplantis back in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch for the final out. Well, that ends the top of the third inning. The Blue Crabs pick up a hit. They strand 1 at the end of 2.5. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 1-0 lead over the FerryHawks. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster, and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
bottom of the third inning from Staten Island, New York. The skyline has lit up. The first pitch now to Andres Noriega is on the ground at third base. Fielded by Crosby. The toss to first is in time to beat Noriega by a couple of steps. And there's one away in the bottom of the third inning. 7 up and 7 down for Eddie Butler to get things started. The Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning with one away.
And we expected this to be a pretty quick-moving game. I spoke with Eddie Butler before the game, and this was prior to the rainout, and he was saying to me, listen, man, last time me and Guantz went against each other, we moved so fast, we might not need to push this game back because both of them just move so fast out there on the mound.
Well, the first pitch is up and away on Alfredo Reyes, count 1-0. Here is the 1-0 pitch. Called strike on the inner half. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. We're going to give you an update from about 30 miles east of here over in Long Island. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning over there. It's a 7-3 Ducks edge still.
So is it in Long Island or on Long Island?
Both.
I thought you were a big proponent of on.
No, I just hear the people in Long Island are a big proponent of on. I'm not a big proponent of either one.
I see.
Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Now here's the 2-1. Softly hit to the third base side. Charging in Crosby. A throw to first in time to get the speedy 8-hitter, Alfredo Reyes, who was sprinting down the line, and there are 2 away in the bottom of the third inning.
You know, Austin, I just got to say, Alex Crosby was a fantastic first baseman last year. He had played some third earlier in his career, but there was a part of me that was just wondering, is he going to be able to make that move to an everyday third baseman? Because first and third are both corner infield, but they're way different from each other. He has seamlessly made that transition and locked down that third base spot.
That's exactly right. And I think that the Blue Crabs also have a strong backup in Ian Yetzko. First pitch, a little off the outside edge. Looked pretty close. Count 1 ball and no. Oh, was it a called strike, Andrew?
I believe it was.
Okay, I was going to say it looked like a called strike. I did not see the signal from the home plate umpire, J.B. Torres. 0-1 pitch. That's a called strike as well. Count 0-2. It's kind of tough because his back is directly facing us.
It's true.
So when he does the strike call, he does it forward, so you can't really see it. His back is blocking the strike call for us. 0-2 pitch upcoming from Eddie Butler. It's low and in the dirt. Bounces before home plate on the 9-hitter Javier Betancourt. 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the third inning. So far, Butler's looked good. Comes set. 1-2 pitch from Eddie Butler. Ground ball, first base side foul. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, there's some kids over there on the first base side who are insistent on standing in that big puddle.
And they are. Now, let me tell you another thing about those kids. They're Blue Crabs fans. When I was down on the field, I'm talking about the ones on the far side of the dugout.
1-2 pitch, ground ball down the third base line. Diving stop by Crosby. Throw to first, down the first base side, and he's safe. Oh, the throw was a little offline. Javier Betancourt does not run well at all, but DeLuca had to come off the back. He tried a swipe tag, and it's a little bit late. A couple of things if he would have been out. First of all, it would have been 9 up and 9 down from Eddie Butler. 3 perfect innings, not to be. But second of all, it would have tied a record set by many of 3 putouts to the third base side in an inning. Would have been the 3-5-3 outs.
And even though Crosby doesn't make the play there, another really veteran move by Crosby, knowing how to play on turf. If you're playing on turf, you don't need to get the ball all the way there. You can bounce it. On dirt, you don't know how it's going to bounce. On turf, get it halfway there, and it'll go.
Well, the first pitch is a little bit upstairs, and that boat is massive.
What is even in that boat?
I have no idea.
It's not cargo.
Well, let's search what is Cattleya Ice.
Okay.
I'm going to look this one up. That's what's written on the side of that.
There also appears to be a tugboat behind the boat.
Which I also don't understand.
That doesn't make any sense.
1-0 pitch on the ground to first. Fielded by DeLuca. He fields the belt. He steps on first base. Fans, we're going to let you take a look at this through our YouTube live link. We'll film it on the way out. We're finished with 3 innings of play. The Blue Crabs lead 1-0. Don't go anywhere.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
We are back in the top of the fourth inning. It is a 1-0 lead for Southern Maryland. And the Blue Crabs send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. Austin Rooney, Andrew Banstra, happy to have you along for the ride. First pitch a little bit upstairs, and it sends David Harris somersaulting out of the way. And the count 1 ball and no strikes on the righty. Well, we had a trivia question we gave you earlier. If you'd like to answer that, you still can. It was about how much money the cargo was on the ship that was stuck in the Suez Canal had last year. 1-0 pitch, called strike, count 1 ball and 1 strike. But we've got a new one here. The 1-1 pitch now, just a little away, and I can tell you, how fast does Hector Guant's work? I mean, I finished one pitch, I try to make a point, and I'm halfway through the sentence and another pitch has come.
It's almost Daryl Thompson-esque.
I think it's faster. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a miss from David Harris in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I got to be honest with you, though, I love it. And it's just
it
keeps the game interesting.
It does. Totally agree. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm going to get the trivia question out when I've got a chance. 2-1 pitch, slow ground ball to third. Barehanding at the third baseman, throw to first base, and it's not in time. David Harris dives to the bag as Angel Aguilar, the third baseman's throw, is a little bit low and offline. And there's one on with nobody out.
And David Harris does that almost 1 in every 3 times there's a really close play at first. You can expect him to do it. A lot of guys don't believe that it actually makes a difference. Some people believe it slows you down. Harris is clearly a big believer that it speeds you up. It works for him there.
I'm going to get to a couple things on that point in just one moment. I want to get back to our trivia question, and that is, we just saw the Cattleya Ace. It passed right by us here in the New York Harbor. The question is, what does the massive boat, the Cattleya Ace, hold, and what country does it fly under? That is our question today. If we can't get what its cargo is, we'll give you that in the top of the 5th inning, and then we're going to answer the full question about what flag it flies under in the top of the 6th. So we're going to write that in the YouTube chat when you've got a chance here. I want to go back to your diving into first base point, Andrew, after this pitch to Alex Crosby. Swinging a ground ball over towards second, should be 2. Betancourt to second for 1, back on to first, the double play. 4, 6, 3. Betancourt to Reyes to Herrera, and there are 2 away in the top of the 4th.
Now,
Brings up Zach Collier. Tough break for the Blue Crabs.
Yeah, it is. And if you're Southern Maryland, the bats haven't really been going this evening. 3 hits in just about 4 innings, but you're getting it done when you need to. And, I said something the other day to Eddie Butler asking him, what is it about this team that you're able to always stay so confident, calm, and collected? And he said, listen, man, we always believe we can come back in a game. And I was asking him, is that rare for any team you've played on? He said, yeah, man. I mean, we just never have any doubt that we can win a game.
First pitch was swung on and missed from Collier. The 0-1 on the inner half, count 0-2. It's not common. You don't see that from a lot of different teams. You really don't. 0-2 pitch from Guantz. Wave and a miss, strike 3. Well, a non-traditional 1-2-3 inning, a single, followed by a double play and a strikeout for Hector Guantz. We're finished with 3.5. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the Blue Crabs 1 and the FerryHawks 0. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com.
This is Andres Riceno, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Bottom half of the 4th inning, it's Eddie Butler who will come back to the mound in a 1-0 Blue Crabs lead. Stephen Alames, who bats second for the FerryHawks, takes the first pitch, called strike at the knees in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Austin Rooney, I'm joined by Andrew Banstra on what is a terrific Tuesday evening. 0-1 pitch, check swing, they motion down to first. The first base umpire, John Lamontina, says that he held up in the count 1-1. Well, it's time to get to our shout-outs today. Of course, as always, Dennis Moore is in the comments. A 1-1 pitch, called strike, count 1 ball and 2 strikes. As always, from Possum Point in Jena, Louisiana. He said we've got the A&A show tonight, and we in fact do.
We do.
Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kaylee says she's watching from good old Southern Maryland. Go Crabs. And Dennis Moore says he's going to come up to the reg before the end of the season. I'll tell you, Dennis, if when you come up to the game, let us know. We'd love to meet you in person.
Please.
The pitch, swinging a foul ball back behind home plate. Count, I beg your pardon, is 2-2 on the righty.
And I got to say, everybody that tunes in and interacts with us makes this experience so much more fun for us. And we really appreciate everybody that tunes in.
We really do. It's exactly right. 2-2 pitch. Looked close, but maybe a little inside in the count 3-2. We understand when we come here to Staten Island, our feed has video. And if you are a Staten Island fan joining us for the broadcast, we also welcome you. 3-2 pitch. Line drive, right field. Braxton Lee slipped up a bit. He's going to have to play that ball on a bounce toward the right field line. And now throwing in, it's going to be cut off by the third baseman. Alex Crosby's rolled all the way there. And there's one on with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Just the second hit of the game for the FerryHawks. Second hit allowed by Eddie Butler, and really the first genuine hit. The other was a diving play by Alex Crosby. Couldn't quite get the throw on line. Butler's been really, really good tonight.
He has just the second hit allowed, hasn't walked a batter, and he's known to give up quite a few hits. He has good control, but he throws a lot of strikes. As it brings up Angel Aguilar. Runner goes. Pitch is a little bit low. Haug looks, but he decides not to throw as Stephen Alamace had a terrific jump and a very large lead. And Butler never looked him back, and he went on the pitch. Well, count 1 ball and no strikes now on Angel Aguilar, and what's just a 1-0 game in the fourth inning. We've got some answers to our trivia questions, but first we have to get to another answer or another shout out. It goes to Fixed Image, who says that she's watching from Westminster, Maryland. And Dennis Moore says he'll be sitting up here with us, so that's
love
great.
That.
Great. We
love Westminster. That's actually the preschool I went to. It's called Westminster.
Huh?
It's true.
1-0 pitch popped up. First base side and foul ground. DeLuca gives chase, but realizes he's going to run out of room. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. So our trivia question was about this massive boat that passed by. It's called the Katlea Ace. I mean, just enormous. We showed it on the camera there, and that was before the fourth inning at the end of 3. And we got a couple answers for where it comes from. Kelly Gunther says that it's carrying cars and it's from Japan, and that's exactly right. Well done, Kelly Gunther. She's watching from North Carolina and says, go Staten Island. I can't believe that.
My goodness.
1-1 pitch is away, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike now on Angel Aguilar.
Well, at least you got it right.
That's true.
And we appreciate you tuning in.
We do. We absolutely do. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner on second base and nobody out. Pitch from Butler. Line drive. Right field rather deep. Sends Braxton Lee back to the warning track. At the wall, it's over his head. Lee throws in quickly towards second base. No one's covering the bag. And Kersey's going to be forced to hold up, or beg your pardon, Alamace is going to be forced to hold up at third base. And there are runners on second and third and nobody out.
And you see Braxton Lee out there smacking his glove as if that was his fault. Nobody in the Atlantic League makes that play. He almost did because he's Braxton Lee. Everybody else scores on that play. Lee gets it in on time.
He did. He had a terrific throw. It was able to hold up Stephen Alamace at third base. Second and third and nobody out. First pitch now to Dilson Herrera is fouled off first base side. Count no balls and 1 strike. Runners on second and third for Staten Island.
And if you're Butler here, you're looking for the strikeout.
Absolutely you are. You want to try to find your way out of this jam that you found yourself in now with 2 in scoring position and nobody out. 0-1 pitch is low and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Louise Montgomery watching from Waldorf. She says, good luck. Lachlan McGuire mentions that what are the chances of Blue Crabs winning the division? Well, we'll get back to that in just a moment. The magic number, just 2.
And I got to give an extra shout out to Louise Montgomery. Truly one of our biggest super fans. She comes to every single game. She's fantastic and has been such a big supporter of us for such a long time.
Well, we're so happy you've joined us. 1-1 pitch. It's a softly hit line drive. It's fielded by DeLuca. The throw to first is in time as Butler was covering the bag, but he's called off the bag. And now the runner at first base, Dilson Herrera, will be called safe. Meanwhile, from third, it's Stephen Alamace, who scores a run. It's a 1-1 ball game.
And it's a really interesting play right there. It's fielded by DeLuca basically in the second base position. The umpires will convene here to discuss this. But if you're Butler, I think you have a right to be frustrated with that. Looked like he got his foot on in time. If you're DeLuca, really not your fault for not throwing home. You can't expect that runner at third to have not gotten in, or excuse me, to have not already broke by that time, and they are going to say he's safe to the dismay of Eddie Butler. Butler has been really, really good to this point in the game. He's allowed 3 hits in this inning, no outs to this point. We've got a tie 1-1 game.
So it's Aguilar to third, Herrera to first. And it's a 1-1 ball game. The FerryHawks have all of a sudden found themselves back in this game. They had 1 hit coming into the inning. They have 3 hits here in the fourth. First pitch, fouled off back behind home plate from Ricardo Cespedes. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. We talked about the possibility for Eddie Butler to allow quite a few hits in an inning. And this has come to fruition here in the fourth, but he's been quite good up until this point. Had allowed 1 hit through 3. 0-1 pitch, line drive, hard hit down the third base side, foul, and it's going to get into the seats in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Line drive toward the left field side, just foul.
Shout out to our very own Jerron Nathan tuning in to this game. He says, shout out to Ron O'Neill. Not quite sure who that is, but we appreciate you tuning in on this Tuesday night. Mr. Jerron Nathan, we appreciate everybody tuning in to tonight's contest. And Lachlan McGuire asked a question, what are the chances of the Crabs winning the division? Austin mentioned the magic number, just 2.
Yeah, we're going to get back to that in just a moment. Count 0-2. And we have an update down across in Long Island. It is now a 9-3 lead for the Ducks over the High Point Rockers. 0-2 pitch, hard hit, line drive, deep right field, back to the warning track. It's off the wall. 1 run comes and scores. It's Aguilar from third. The throw comes into second. It's a little bit late. It's an RBI double from Ricardo Cespedes. Meanwhile, Dilson Herrera to third. It's a 2-1 lead for Staten Island as that ball was destroyed to right field. Off it was near the top of the wall. And so it is a 2-1 lead for Staten Island with still 2 in scoring position and nobody out.
Yeah, and it's a really tough spot to play in right field here, especially friendly towards left-handed hitters. A, you're right on the water, so the ball's going to carry a little bit better. But B, this ballpark plays really shallow to right field. Just 318 down the line. It doesn't get that much deeper in right center, or at least right away. So it's a really tough spot to play for Braxton Lee.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he's going to get to that ball. First pitch is line foul. The count 0-1. There's not a player in Major League Baseball who gets to that one. That one was way too far.
Absolutely, but if you're in a little bit deeper of a park, you may have a better chance at it.
If you're playing deeper, that's right. If it's a shorter porch, though, I might get out of here. It is a relatively short porch, though, in right, I will say. 0-1 pitch. A little bit away in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-1 Staten Island. An RBI double from Ricardo Cespedes. And it's 2-1 FerryHawks. Meanwhile, Herrera on third. 1-1 pitch. High pop-up in the infield. It's a third baseman, Crosby, who calls off everybody else, and he makes the catch just a little bit to the left of the pitcher's mound. And now an important first out. There is 1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And with the infield back, you don't have that many opportunities to record an out of too many types without a run scoring in this situation. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. A strikeout or an infield pop-out are best-case scenarios for Butler and the Blue Crabs.
So just to give you back to that point about the magic number. Now the infield does move in, at least partially.
And it's interesting, generally you'd see just corners in this situation to try to get the double play ball.
First pitch is a little bit away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Andres Noriega.
But in this particular situation, you've got everybody but the shortstop in.
Right, and especially over at second base, Michael Wolanski in on the green turf, which is supposed to model the infield turf. This one swinging a line drive toward third. It's a shortstop, Baca, who picks it up and fires to first after it was past the outstretched reach of Crosby. 1 run does come in and score from third. The Blue Crabs get the second out, though. It's a fielder's choice, and Noriega goes down. Meanwhile, Adilson Herrera scores from third. It's 3-1 Staten Island, as that ball was just out of the reach of Alex Crosby, would have saved another run.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Good effort there by Crosby. Like you said, a little bit too far out of the reach, and just like that, Staten Island explodes with 3 in the 4th inning, 3-1 FerryHawks.
2 away, runner still on second base. FerryHawks now lead by 2. As the first pitch is a called strike, count 0-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's the Blue Crabs 1 and the FerryHawks 3. The FerryHawks had just 1 hit and 1 base runner coming into this inning. Butler retired the first 8. First pitch, or the 0-1 I should say, wave and a miss at a pitch that was way low and out of the zone. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Ricardo Cespedes leads off of second. 2 away. 0-2 pitch to Reyes. That's low and away. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And this is the full lit up view of the skyline in New York City. The fog has largely cleared. It's a pretty clear view out there, Andrew.
Yeah, earlier we could hardly see anything. You couldn't even tell the Statue of Liberty was there.
1-2 pitch, wave and a miss. Butler went low and away for the strikeout as Reyes swings through it. That ends the bottom of the 4th inning, but the FerryHawks score 3 runs on 4 hits. They lead it 3-1 at the end of 4. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by, and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Austin Rooney back with you in the top of the 5th inning as the Blue Crabs now trail by 2. It's Joe DeLuca who comes to the plate. The Blue Crabs send 7, 8, and 9 to the dish in the top of the 5th. Hector Guantz back on the mound. Guantz is set. Gets a sign from his catcher, Andres Noriega. 0-1 offering. Line drive on the first pitch, a 3-hopper over toward second base. It's Betancourt who fields between the legs and throws to first for the first out. Well, quickly 1 away in the top of the 5th inning. And Ryan Howe comes to the plate. Well, after DeLuca goes down on a ground out towards second base, it's Ryan Haug who's doing the catching tonight, who steps in from the right side. First pitch to Haug, he shows bunt, pulls back, and takes ball 1. A little bit low on the count, 1 ball and no strikes. We apologize for some of the bots in the YouTube chat. We're trying to take care of that as soon as we can. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball, left side, base hit. Through the hole between shortstop and third, and Ryan Haug is aboard with 1 away. Got that Hawk City Donuts half off. So if you're a big Donuts fan, you come to the ballpark. 5th inning come times around. Half off Hawk City Donuts. Runner on first and 1 out. Here's the first pitch. It's a little bit low for ball 1 on Michael Baca, and the count 1 ball, or was it called strike? I did not see the strike sign again from J.B. Torres. It looked good. But 1 on and 1 out for the 9-hitter Baca. Pitch gets past the catcher. That's Andres Noriega. What was a pretty good pitch. Could have been in the strike zone. Called the ball on the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Haug leads off first. It's a short lead for Ryan Haug. As Baca digs back into the right side. 3-1 Staten Island, 3 runs scored on 4 hits in the bottom of the 4th. Meanwhile, 1 Blue Crabs run on 4 hits in this ballgame. 1-1 pitch, a little bit in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Count 2-1. 1 on and 1 out. Baca will be followed by Braxton Lee. 2-1 pitch. Line drive foul behind home plate, and the count 2-2. So to get back to that magic number of 2 point, it means the Blue Crabs need a combination of 2 wins and 2 Ducks losses. So 1 win for the Blue Crabs and 1 Ducks loss will be enough. Blue Crabs trail 3-1 though, and the Ducks have a 9-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning, and they're threatening for more. Michael Baca at the plate. Baca on the year, hitting .225. The 2-2 pitch low, throw down to first. They got him. A snap throw from the catcher Andres Noriega to first base, and they picked him off, and they're not quite sure what he called. And I guess he called out, well, one of the most bizarre out calls I've ever seen from John Lamantina, who called safe and then did a double arm out call. Just bizarre. Either way, he's called out at first base. Count is 3-2 as the pitch missed low. 3-2 offering. That's low and in, and now it's ball 4. So 1 on and 1 out. Well, that's a tough break for the Blue Crabs. Could have had 2 on and 1 out and a runner in scoring position, but instead, just the runner on first base and 1 out. A terrific throw from the catcher, Noriega, to get the runner on first base, Ryan Haug. He's caught stealing. And so there is a runner on first base and 2 outs. Braxton Lee digs in. He's 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch is low and in the dirt. Nicely blocked by Noriega. He's been good so far. He let one ball get past him for a moment, but he's generally kept balls in front of him, and he's had strong throws when he's needed to. Braxton Lee stole second base on him, but it was a bang-bang play. 1-0 pitch upcoming to Braxton Lee. Line drive, very hard hit up into the sweet level and foul ground. And a couple fans are going to try to go and get that ball who were in the sweet level. You pay the extra money, you get to the suites. They're the only fans in the suites, so they're going to get any balls that come on up there. Rain continues to fall rather heavily in Staten Island. 1-1 pitch, that's away. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Now there are 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Staten Island has a 3-1 lead. Guant still throwing hard, 94, 95 miles an hour with a fastball. Mixes in a curveball that drops 20-plus miles an hour, and the speed change makes a big difference. 2-1. That's away. Count 3-1. Well, after a single to Ryan Haug, and the catcher, Noriega, picking him off at first base, it's back-to-back walks, or a walk to, I should say a walk to Haug, and behind in the count 3-1. Not back-to-back walks yet. Guants will try to avoid that. 3-1 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, shallow left field. It's going to get into the seats. No one in that section at all, and a couple of fans racing over from neighboring sections. Rain continuing to fall. Three-two pitch upcoming to Braxton Lee with 2 away and a runner on first. Runner goes, pitch, that's strike 3. Called strike 3, a very late sign from J.B. Torres. But Braxton Lee goes down on strikes to end the top of the 5th inning. Well, the Blue Crabs pick up a hit. They also walk once. They strand only 1 as Ryan Haug was picked off of first base. We're halfway through here in Staten Island. It's 3-1, FerryHawks. Don't go anywhere.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Back in the bottom of the fifth, first pitch, a little bit inside for ball one on Javier Betancourt, who bats ninth in the order for the FerryHawks. They go 9-1-2 in the bottom of the fifth. It's 3-1 in favor of Staten Island. 1-0 pitch, called strike on the outer half, and the count 1-1 strike on Eddie Butler. Well, Hector Guantz has now gone a full 5 innings of work. He surpassed his first pitch count. This one swinging a high fly ball. Right field. It sends Braxton Lee back a few steps in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. And there is one away. Back to the top of the lineup now, as it brings up Antoine Duplantis, who is 0 for 2 in today's ballgame. On the year, Antoine Duplantis comes into this one hitting .214. First pitch, called strike. Outside corner, the count, no balls and 1 strike. Oh, 0-1, that's a little bit low. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. On a terrific evening for baseball. Temperatures in the lower 70s. It was raining earlier. The rain seems to have petered off. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep right field, sends Lee back to the warning track at the wall. Looking up, it is gone. Antoine Duplantis goes deep for the first time this year. A solo shot to deep right. It's a 4-1 lead for Staten Island as Antoine Duplantis goes deep. And it is a 4-1 lead for the FerryHawks.
And it seems to this point in the game, Butler has been particularly susceptible to left-handed hitters getting a good piece of the ball, stuff on the inside part of the plate that's found its way to the fence, or in this case, over.
Well, first pitch swinging now from the 2-hitter Alamace, fielded at the knees by Crosby. Throw to first is going to be a little bit late. He dove to stop that ball. There's a chance that the shortstop Baca could have fielded it on the backhand, but Alamace runs rather well. The throw to first was a little bit late. So following the home run from Duplantis, it's a single from Alamace. 4-1 lead for the FerryHawks. Meanwhile, on Long Island, about 30 miles east, it is a 9-3 Ducks edge. In the top of the 7th, that one seems like it's pretty firmly in their control, Andrew.
It seems that way, and of course, right now, the general observer might think the same about this game, but we talked about how the Blue Crabs have the chance always to come back in games, but as it stands right now, that magic number not looking like it's going to move at all tonight if the scores hold.
Right, and the Blue Crabs would need to win back-to-back games themselves to secure this. And of course, they can get some help from the Ducks.
Exactly.
Count 0-1 on Angel Aguilar. 1 on with 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Line drive, rather deep, right center field. Sends Braxton Lee back in front of the warning track turf and makes the catch for the 2nd out. Balls are flying out to right field right now, and the wind isn't exactly doing it any favors. The wind going from right to left, but these balls are well hit to the right side.
It's true, you're exactly right, and everything to right field is seeming to carry to this point in the ball game.
Brings up Dilson Herrera, who's hitting just .114 this season. Has just 5 hits on the year. Well, he taps home plate twice, points his bat out towards center field. Meanwhile, at first base is Stephen Alamace. Throw to first, they got him. He did not flinch, and Butler tossed to first, didn't even move, and Eddie Butler picks off Stephen Alamace. Well, Butler faced just 4 batters in the inning. All it took was 1 hit from the FerryHawks to extend the lead to 4-1. We're finished with 5 innings of play. It's the Blue Crabs 1, it's the FerryHawks 4 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
Well, first pitch from Hector Guantz. Michael Wolanski is foul back. And the count, no balls and one strike. It's a 4-1 lead for Staten Island as we go to the top of the sixth inning. Blue Crabs looking to close that magic number, which is just 2 for now. 0-1 pitch. Oh, looked pretty close, but called the ball on Wolanski. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Michael Wolanski comes into this one with a 14-game hitting streak, but he's 0 for 2 so far. Have this one and probably at least one more at bat as the 1-1 pitch is away. Count 2 balls and 1 strike on Wolanski. It's undoubtedly easier to extend your hit streak when you're at the top of the lineup as opposed to the bottom of the lineup. So you're more likely to get that extra at bat. The 2-1 pitch, check swing. Motion down to first, and he held up. The count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Oh no, did they say he went? Well, I couldn't quite figure out which umpire they were pointing to, and it's a righty. They usually point down toward first. As the 2-2 pitch now is swung on and fouled off first base side. The count 2-2. I'm not sure I've ever seen as many calls that are harder to figure out what they are between ball and strike calls and which umpire they're pointing to and a whole bevy of different issues. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. 2-2, ground ball, third base side. It's fielded by the third baseman Aguilar. Throw to first is in time to beat Wolanski by a single step. And there's one away in the top of the 6th. Wolanski's hitting streak is certainly in jeopardy as Jared Walker comes to the plate. Now, Blue Crabs really need to generate hits first. I mean, the runs will come if you can generate the hits, but Guantz has had terrific control up until this point. A lot of strikes. He's been throwing hard, and he has avoided hard contact. First pitch to Walker. Is pulled foul, first base side, count 0-1. Base paths are empty. Oh, so far, 4 hits are spread out among 9 batters. Lee with a hit, Harris with a hit, Collier and Haug are the only 4 with hits as the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Count 0-2, a breaking ball. Base paths remain empty. Now there is some action in the bullpen for Staten Island. We'll update you with that as soon as we have official word. 0-2. A little bit upstairs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looks like it's Alex Katz who is warming up in the bullpen. No action for the Blue Crabs yet. 88th pitch from Guantz. Wave and a miss. Strike 3. Goes to the high heat, and Walker swings under it. There are 2 away in the top of the 6th. And that brings up David Harris, who's 1 for 1. He's also walked in today's ball game. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs on the road in Staten Island tonight, with New York City in the background. First pitch a little bit of low and away. The count 1 ball and no strikes on David Harris. 4-1 Staten Island, though. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 4th, 1 more in the bottom of the 5th. As the 1-0 pitch is cut on and fouled back, count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, it's a terrific ballpark here in Staten Island. It's a really nice park all the way around. It's got a whole bunch of seats. Not all that many of them full tonight on a rainy Tuesday. 2-0 pitch. Once a called strike, the 1-0 pitch was just way over the head of the catcher, Noriega. It looked like to me as though it might have been fouled off, but just over his head. 2-1 pitch. It's foul back. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Light rain falling, first base side. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The base path's empty on Harris, who's reached twice today. 2-2, wave and a miss. Strike 3, another strikeout from Hector Guantz, who is dealing through 6 innings. Allowed just 4 hits and 1 run. The Blue Crabs go down in order 1, 2, 3. We're finished with 5.5. It's the Blue Crabs who trail 4-1 against the Staten Island FerryHawks. Stick with us. We're going to the bottom of the 6th when we come back.
This is Dalton Geeky, and you're listening to Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Well, Dilson Herrera to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 in favor of Staten Island, as the first pitch is low and away. Well, Staten Island comes into this one 15-37. The Blue Crabs 41-12. This one swinging a line drive right to the third baseman Crosby in the air. And it is a line out from Dilson Herrera. 1 for 3 on the evening. And Eddie Butler threw 5 in a third inning, but he's allowed 4 runs and 7 hits. There is some action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Guys doing sprints up and down that right field line. First pitch from Eddie Butler. Line drive, well hit, left side. This one tailing, just foul. Had the distance for a solo shot from Ricardo Cespedes, who's already doubled today. Either way, it drops in foul territory, though. And the count 0-1. 0-1 offering from Eddie Butler. Line drive, three hops, and it rolls to the second baseman, I should say, Wolanski, who fields and fires, and there are 2 away.
Now batting the right fielder, number 38,
And Mariel Bautista will dig in. So far, it's a quick 6th inning for Eddie Butler. 4 pitches to retire 2 batters. But on the other side of the ball, the Blue Crabs are going to need to find a way to generate some offense. First pitch, line drive, foul. The count 0-1. Count no balls and 1 strike on Bautista. For Butler, this will be the 80th pitch of the outing. Big wave and a miss. Fastball thrown by him in the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As we pass 9:30 in the evening. 0-2 offering. A little bit low. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tonight's ball game was supposed to start at 6:30. Was delayed until 7. We did not receive any additional notice. It was just the game was gonna start shortly, was what we were told. It did not start all that shortly. As the pitch is a little bit low. They count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Start about 45 minutes later, at around 7:45. Two-two delivery. A little bit low and away again. Count 3-2. Well, rain was falling earlier. There's still a slight drizzle. 3-2 pitch, that's away, ball 4. Well, Butler was ahead in the count 0-2 on Mario Bautista, but issues 4 consecutive balls. So runner on first base with 2 outs. Joe DeLuca puts the glove on top of his head and does some stretches. 4-1 FerryHawks, that's where we stand in the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Crabs scored first in this one. Picked up a run in the 2nd inning, but since then the bats have been quiet. Meanwhile, 3 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th for Staten Island, who leads 4-1. First pitch is low for ball 1 on Andres Noriega. A nice breeze from right field to left field. Butler set. 1-0 pitch. Popped up foul, first base side, count 1-1. After a string of 5 consecutive balls from Eddie Butler, that one's fouled off. Noriega hitting .250. Only has 8 at-bats this season. Came in 2 for 6. Now he's 2 for 8. He tosses to first to check on the runner, Bautista. Well, the highest batting average now is Steven Alames. He's hitting .333 on the year. Again, a limited sample size, though. Checking on the runner yet again as he dives back to the bag. One on, 2 outs. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Butler ready. Runner goes, pitches upstairs, throw to second. They got him in plenty of time. A rocket from the arm of Ryan Haug to get the runner going, trying to steal second base. He gets Mario Bautista. Meanwhile, Noriega will be back to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. Another less than traditional 1-2-3 inning. There's a relief pitcher coming in when we come back for the Staten Island FerryHawks, the top of the 7th inning. Blue Crabs need to get 3 runs back. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Top of the 7th inning, the Blue Crabs still trail by 3. And Alex Crosby comes to the plate against the new pitcher. First pitch is inside from Alex Katz, a lefty in a lefty-lefty matchup. Oh, and that was a called strike as well. I am not able to see the home plate umpire, J.B. Torres, make that punch strike call. He does not do it off to the side. 0-1 pitch. That's low, and now the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, on his last 3 appearances, Katz has not surrendered a hit. On the year, a 3.38 ERA, but in the month of June, a 1.17 earned run average. The 1-1 pitch fouled directly to our left here in the press box. Count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. As Crosby leads things off, he's without a hit today. 0 for 2, 1-2 pitches away. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crosby got the day off on Sunday after his 9-game hit streak was snapped on Saturday. Blue Crabs winners of 8 straight. That 8-game win streak in serious jeopardy, though, as they trail by 3 here in the 7th. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Breaking ball from Alex Katz. And it fools Crosby. There's 1 away in the top of the 7th. Zach Collier comes to the plate. With the base paths empty and 1 out. There's more action in the Staten Island bullpen. No action in Southern Maryland's pen. I'll give you the final line on Hector Guantz. First pitch to Collier. Shows bunt, pulls back, called strike. And the count 0-1. Well, for Guantz, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks. He struck out 8. Terrific performance from Guantz, and the Blue Crabs bats have been quiet since the 2nd. 0-1 pitch, way inside. Count 1-1, nearly hit Collier. For Southern Maryland, Eddie Butler, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk. Only 8 base runners compared to 6 from Guantz. But the hits have been costly, and they've come in bunches. Count 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 4-1 Staten Island. Here's the pitch. A little bit inside, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Blue Crabs need base runners and need base runners badly. Katz set. Here is the 2-1 pitch. A little bit low and away. Count 3 balls and 1 strike on Zach Collier. Well, Katz went a total of 93 pitches. For Butler, he's only gone 88. So as far as the pitch count is concerned, Butler has plenty of gas left in the tank. But the Blue Crabs might want to turn to a reliever. As the 3-1 pitch is up and in, it's ball 4. 1 on and 1 out in the 7th. Hector Guantz was really dealing. I'm a little surprised they went away from it. Look at a guy who has a real chance of getting picked up by a affiliated team. Oh my. The walk-up songs are really something else. They're going the Dora the Explorer earlier. They're going with Bob the Builder now as Joe DeLuca comes to the plate. This is something else, you know, the kids' shows. I haven't seen this move before, as the first pitch is a big swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. It's really quite funny, I will say. One on, 1 out. Bradley Roney, only player without the hoodie on. You'd think maybe he's going to start throwing soon, but has not started throwing yet. 0-1 pitch, line drive foul, first base side from Joe DeLuca, who's batting from the right side of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away in the top of the 7th. As Collier has a very short lead off of first base. Home plate umpire J.B. Torres calls time. Joe DeLuca, when hitting from the right side, hits over 500. But he's 0 for 2 tonight. The 0-2 pitch We'll have to wait as Katz tosses back over to first base to check on Collier. Zach Collier, clearly a concern for Alex Katz. Collier is only 1 for 3 in stolen bases this year, though. 0-2 offering. Low and in. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Staten Island Ferry continues to run at night. Might be able to see it all lit up over in right field, just to the right of those flags. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Joe DeLuca. Zach Collier on first base. The Blue Crabs have a magic number of just 2. We'll get into that after this pitch. Well, Alex Katz works much more slowly than Hector Guantz. The 1-2 pitch fouled back. It's chopped behind home plate, and the count 1-2. That magic number means that the Blue Crabs need a combined 2 wins or 2 Ducks losses. Means a win for the Blue Crabs and a loss for the Ducks would be enough. But tonight, in the top of the 9th inning in Long Island, it's a 9-3 lead for the Ducks over High Point. Blue Crabs trailing by 3. If the results hold, the Blue Crabs would snap an 8-game winning streak, and the magic number would remain at 2. Katz is set. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. DeLuca strikes out. Fastball elevated, and there are 2 away in the top of the 7th. Here comes Ryan Haug. While Katz had a strikeout on Crosby, a walk to Collier, and now a strikeout on DeLuca. Brings up Ryan Haug with 1 on and 2 outs. Would not be surprised to see Collier go at this point. First pitch called strike. The count 0-1. Collier doesn't run poorly by any means. He runs pretty well out in center field. Certainly not a prolific base stealer, though. Katz the 0-1. That's away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. And sometimes it's just about picking the right pitches to go on. Two outs now on the top of the 7th. The Blue Crabs really need to get some offense going as they trail by 3. Michael Baca stands on deck. 1-1. Called strike. Count 1-2. Fastball froze him. Middle. Not all that many fans on hand here at Staten Island University Hospital Ballpark. Technically, it's a community ballpark as well. 1-1 offering. Ground ball, third base side. It's gobbled up by Aguilar. He tosses to second for the lead out and the final out in the top of the 7th inning. It's time to get up and stretch on Staten Island. It's the FerryHawks who have a 4-1 lead over Southern Maryland. When we come back, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Oh, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs will have their work cut out for them when their bats come back to the plate in the top of the 8th, but they need to keep this at a 4-1 lead. First pitch of Noriega, drilled to deep left. Back to the warning track in front of the wall. It's the left fielder. It's Jared Walker there to make the catch. That ball looked like it was out of here off the bat. Noriega gave that ball a ride to left, but there is one out in the bottom of the 7th inning. There is some action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. It is Dario Polanco warming up for Southern Maryland. Polanco hasn't thrown in quite a while, but he is up and throwing now for the Blue Crabs. First pitch, a little bit inside on Alfredo Reyes. We saw Bradley Roney was possibly coming up, but he's not throwing for now as the 1-0 pitch is fouled off. Instead, it is Polanco. Base path's empty and one out. One pitch. Line drive foul, first base side, count 1-2.
And I'll tell you, Austin, there is one suite over here that has just been targeted all night with foul balls. They're lucky to still be safe right now.
The one directly to our left?
To our right.
To our right. I haven't seen this one. The suites get the majority of the action because there's a netting here that's pretty tall. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And there are two away. A high fastball gets Reyes swinging. And there are two outs. Well, the massive boat we saw earlier is back and crossing in the distance. There's no light, though, so you can't really see it.
And you got to wonder, if it was just going one way, there's no way it dropped off all of its cargo.
Oh, I beg your pardon. This is a different one. It's called Grimaldi Lines.
I see.
First pitch is away. The last one definitely did not say that.
How many boats do you think we've seen cross tonight?
I'd say before the game there were more. There have been fewer during the game. 0-1 pitch now. That's away, and the count 1-1 strike. Two outs. Eddie Butler seems to have settled down since the 5th inning when he allowed that most recent home run. Although, I will say, Noriega gave that ball an absolute ride to left field before the left fielder Jared Walker tracked it down. 1-1 pitch. That one drilled to the left side. It's going to get down for a base hit. Go all the way to the wall. Jared Walker throws into the cutoff man at shortstop, Michael Baca, and there's a 2-out double. Have to wonder how much longer the leash is on Eddie Butler.
You know, and I will say, Jared Walker, who's played outfield before, we didn't know how he'd fare considering he had only played first base until about 10 days ago. He's really held his own out there in left field, providing versatility and giving the Blue Crabs even more offense.
Well, Dario Polanco continues to warm up. With two outs in the bottom of the 7th inning, I could see him coming in for a final out here in the 7th possibly, or maybe the Blue Crabs are going to go with him to start the 8th. First pitch, line drive foul from Antoine Duplantis, back to the top of the order for Staten Island. Duplantis hitting .241. He went deep to right field for a solo home run his last time up. 4-1 FerryHawks. Blue Crabs with one in the 2nd. But Staten Island with three in the 4th and one in the 5th. 0-1. Line drive right to the first baseman. That's Joe DeLuca who snags it just a little bit below the belt for the final out. Well, the FerryHawks have one hit. They strand one at the end of 7. It's Staten Island 4, the Blue Crabs 1. The Blue Crabs bats need to come alive. They'll send 9-1 and 2 to the plate when we come back. Back in the top of the 8th, the Blue Crabs certainly have their work cut out for them. They're down by 3 as the first pitch is away for ball 1. It's Michael Baca who comes to the plate in the top of the 8th inning. He'll be followed by Braxton Lee and Michael Wolanski. The top of the lineup has been quiet. The 1-0 pitch, that's away as well, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. There is a new pitcher on the mound. It's Williams Ramirez from the Dominican Republic.
And look at that motion he's got as he takes his pitch.
It's a little like, it reminds me of Craig Kimbrell a little bit.
A little bit.
2-0 pitch, called strike, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. That one was on the inner half.
But watch right here. Watch what he does.
He swings that arm, yeah.
You got to wonder if that's almost like a hitter practicing getting your momentum transferred back and forth. I don't know. It seems unique.
The 2-1 pitch, Baca acted as if he needed to get it out of the way, but it was kind of middle of the plate at the knees, and it's a called strike. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Michael Baca trying to get the Blue Crabs going. 2-2, wave and a miss, breaking ball, low and out of the zone. There's 1 away in the top of the 8th.
And it seems like in this game, Austin, Staten Island, they don't have all that many opportunities this season with a lead late in games, especially after a day off yesterday. They're turning to every option they possibly can to try to get this win here today.
Andrew, have you been listening to the walk-up songs for Blue Crabs tonight?
I have.
We've heard Dora the Explorer, Bob the Builder, and now we've got Yankee Doodle.
See, and part of me is okay with that, and this is why. There's such thing as home field advantage. And, you know, when you're at home, you get your walk-up songs. I don't have too much of a problem.
No, I don't either. The first pitch on the
head.
inner half on Braxton Lee for a called strike. I will say some of them are really quite funny. The 0-1 pitch, high pop-up, shallow left field, long run, and it's the shortstop. That's Alfredo Reyes onto the outfield grass who makes the catch for the second out. 2 away. In the top of the 8th inning, the Blue Crabs have been really quiet at the plate since the second.
It started just like any other game. Southern Maryland got their hits early, took an early lead. Even generally, when they lose that lead, they find a way in the late innings. Haven't seen it to this point.
And here is Michael Wolanski. First pitch to Wolanski's up and in. He's without a hit today. His 14-game hitting streak very much in jeopardy. The longest hit streak in Blue Crabs history is 17, correct?
Yeah, you got it. Now, that's a little bit of a tricky one. It is Crosby with 17, but last season Joe DeLuca ended the season on a 16-game hit streak and then had a hit in the first postseason game. So regular season game-wise, it's just 17 with Crosby. If you include postseason, it's Crosby and DeLuca tied.
Are there crossovers for hitting streaks in seasons? 2-0 pitch is a little bit upstairs, count 3-0. But if you get a hit to start the next season,
I don't think so.
That doesn't count?
I wouldn't count it, at least. I don't know if it technically does. I don't know that my opinion matters all that much. But.
Count 3 balls and no strikes. Base paths are empty. The 3-0 pitch is upstairs. Wolanski probably, it counts 3-1. Oh, we all have the count wrong there. I had it as 3-0. The scoreboard had it as 3-0. The count was actually 2-1. Now the count is 3-1. Base paths are empty. I was about to say that Wolanski will reach base but not get a hit here. 3-1 pitch. That's low, and it remains the same. It is a walk for Michael Wolanski, who has reached base now in 15 consecutive games. Actually reached base in 16 straight, though his hitting streak in serious jeopardy.
Couple of final scores around the Atlantic League. The Barnstormers topped the Revolution by a score of 11-4 in York, and the Dirty Birds dropped Game 1 of the series in Gastonia, 8-7 the final.
Is there an update in Long Island?
Long Island, things are getting closer. It's the top of the 9th, 9-7 Ducks.
Wow. It was 9-3 to start the 9th inning. First pitch called strike on the inner half, and the count 0-1 on Jared Walker.
The Rockers have put up 4, and the game just ended.
So a 9-7 final.
A valiant effort.
0-1 pitch, swinging a line drive, deep left center field. It sends Duplantis back in front of the Staten Island University Hospital sign and makes the catch for the final out. The Blue Crabs pick up one base runner. They strand one at the end of 7.5. The Blue Crabs still trailing by 3. They go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the Blue Crabs 1 and the FerryHawks 4 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, we are back in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs have made the call to the bullpen as Dario Polanco enters the ball game. The Blue Crabs bullpen has a new fixture tonight. Their bullpen catcher is Ian Yetzko. Well, normally whoever's not doing the catching, whichever catcher that is, will be the bullpen catcher. And whenever that happens, usually then they go to, when they're both playing, they go to Eddie Butler. But Eddie Butler was on the mound tonight, so they had to go to their 4th string. It was Ian Yetzko. First pitch swing, high fly ball, rather deep to right field. It's Braxton Lee who drifts back onto the warning track and makes the catch after Steven Alamaze gave that ball a ride to right. But it's the first out recorded from Dario Polanco. Now, Andrew, Polanco hasn't played all that much very recently.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He made an appearance back on June the 11th. He went a third of an inning recording just one out, facing just one batter. The last time he completed a full inning of work, Austin, was back on May the 27th. Now, from April 24th, his first appearance of the season, through May 27th, just a little bit over a month, he appeared in 9 games, accumulating 10 innings pitched. In the last 3.5 weeks, he's recorded just one out.
First pitch is a called strike on Aguilar. And look, I think there are a number of reasons you can point to for his inactivity. The Blue Crabs do have so many arms that are so consistent and pitch a lot. In the 0-1 pitch, ground ball, hard hit toward third. Crosby's throws a little offline, but it's in plenty of time to get the batter, Angel Aguilar,
now,
at
Austin,
first base.
We got to talk about the fact, we mentioned it briefly, but Long Island did win tonight, meaning
Yep.
that even if Southern Maryland comes back and wins, it can't happen tonight. There will be no clinching this evening. Now, it's still very important that Southern Maryland does come back and win this game, because then tomorrow a Ducks loss or a Blue Crabs win or both clinches a playoff spot.
Exactly right. First pitch now is a little bit inside for ball one on Dilson Herrera. It puts the Blue Crabs a little bit behind the 8 ball in this series, though, if they do not win tonight.
It's true.
Because it would mean they'd have to either win games 2 and games 3 or rely on a Ducks loss. 1-0 pitch, called strike on the outside corner. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 away. So far, Blue Crabs relief pitcher Dario Polanco has looked quite good. 1-1 pitch. Big wave and a miss. The count 1-2. You see a little bit of Dario Polanco and some of the other lefties on this staff. Guys like Mitch Lamson don't throw all that hard, but try to use their breaking stuff and their off-speed pitch to find success. 2-1 for the 1-2 pitch is buried in the dirt. Count 2-2.
It's what?
Buried in the dirt.
Oh, yes. You said buried at first, and I know you're a big believer in buried.
Well, it's spelled B-U-R-I-E-D. I'm not sure where it's not Barry. Barry is spelled B-E-R-R-Y or B-A-R-R-Y, and Bury has none of those vowels in it. No E's or A's. The 2-2 pitch is low, and the count 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. Base paths are empty on Dilson Herrera. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Not much of emotion from the home plate umpire, J.B. Torres, but he rings up Dilson Herrera for the final out. A very quick 1-2-3 inning as Dario Polanco looked good in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're finished with 8. It's Staten Island who have a 3-run lead as we go to the top of the 9th. The Blue Crabs got to get some runs back here. It's the top of the 9th inning. The Blue Crabs, they trail by 3. They send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. It's David Harris who digs in. First pitch, a little bit up and in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Andrew, the Blue Crabs need base runners, and they need base runners badly off of Williams Ramirez, who pitched a clean 8th inning. 1-0 pitch. That's in. Count 2-0. And for the Blue Crabs at this stage, a walk is as good of a hit as a hit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Any way on has got to be the philosophy from this point on.
2-0 pitch, big wave and a miss. That one might have been a little bit out of the strike zone. They count 2 balls and 1 strike nonetheless. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss yet again from Harris. Count 2-2. He packs a punch in his swing.
Yeah, he sure does. He's a guy that gives it his all on each pitch, and there's a reason. He's also a guy with a ton of power.
Ramirez, the 2-2. Swing and a miss and a pitch in the dirt. And there is one away. Well, after missing the zone on the first 2 pitches, Ramirez comes back with a trio of strikes and gets David Harris swinging.
And there's the Elmo's world.
So let's recap here. We've heard Sesame Street now. We've heard Bob the Builder. We've heard Dora the Explorer. We've heard Go Diego Go. And we've heard Yankee Doodle. I haven't heard SpongeBob. Is that one also?
I have, yeah.
Okay. We'll count 1 ball and no strikes as the first pitch is low and in on Alex Crosby. I'd love to hear what the players think about these different songs. 1-0, up and in, count 2-0.
You got to wonder if they care or if it gets in their heads or if they could care less. I would think they at least – I think they're at least aware.
I think they get a little bit of a chuckle. You'd have to, right?
I would think so.
2 balls and no strikes. Base path's empty. 2-0 pitch. Wave and a miss. Count 2-1. Eerily similar to the last at bat when David Harris was ahead in the count 2-0, and it was Williams Ramirez who had 3 straight strikes for a strikeout. 2-1 pitch. Wave and a miss. Count 2-2. Blue Crabs 1 strike away from being down to their final out in the top of the 9th inning. 4-1, FerryHawks lead. And the 2-2, wave and a miss, strike 3. Oh, back-to-back batters, and Andrew, back-to-back results to a T.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Not exactly the start to this final inning of offense you're looking for if you're Southern Maryland, or really not at all.
Well, maybe Williams Ramirez will miss on the first 2 pitches intentionally here just so he can throw 3 strikes in a row.
It could be. Now, not up to him as whether Zach Collier hits those pitches.
It's also true. First pitch, well, it's a swing and a miss. So we're not going to see the exact same pitches happen from here on out. But the count is 0-1. Well, the Blue Crabs' bats have been quiet tonight. There's no other way to put it. 1 run on 4 hits. 0-1 pitch. Motion down to third base on a check swing. And the third base umpire, Fred DeJesus, says he held up.
And it may not be believable for a lot of people, but that's bound to happen to this Southern Maryland team at some point, Austin. I mean, they've just been so good. You have to have an off night every once in a while.
You do.
And I get it. I mean, Southern Maryland's been that good this year, but every once in a while you're proving that you're human.
1-1, check swing, the motion back down to third, and that time Fred DeJesus says he went around. I thought he might have checked his swing. What do you see there, Andrew?
Yeah, I didn't think he went around, to be perfectly frank with you.
Fred DeJesus has been all about those check swing strikes. The first time, he didn't even put up his arm. He just nodded his head saying, yeah, he went.
It's true.
1-2 pitch, up and in, count 2-2. Zach Collier had to get out of the way that time. One of only 4 Blue Crabs hitters with a hit today. They include Braxton Lee, David Harris, Zach Collier, and Ryan Haug. Blue Crabs will have 3 batters, or still have 3 batters, who have not had their 4th plate appearance. 2-2 pitch, called strike 3.
And it's really bizarre and hard to see the strike calls.
The home plate umpire, J.V. Torres, with a very delayed called strike 3 on Zach Collier. A trio of Ks from Williams Ramirez in the 9th, and all 3 of them on 2-2 pitches. Well, the Staten Island FerryHawks win for just the 16th time this season as the Blue Crabs fall 4-1. Well, Southern Maryland, the bats just weren't there tonight. It's about as simple as that. The pitching was, all things considered, rather solid. Eddie Butler, 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 walk. When you're allowing 9 base runners across 7 innings, Andrew, it's not bad.
Not bad at all, and you got to think about it. Base runners turn into runs, and if you only have 9 of them across 7 innings, you're doing your job if you're Eddie Butler. The offense, like you said, who has been there night in and night out all year, just didn't have it tonight.
And Dario Polanco came in and threw 1 inning of work. He struck out 1. He did not allow a base runner. A strong inning from Polanco. Let's go back through the scoring plays. We'll go through the starting lineup once more and send everybody on their way this evening. Blue Crabs do snap an 8-game winning streak tonight. The magic number remains at 2. Well, Zach Collier got the scoring started in the 2nd. He doubled on a sharp line drive to the right center field gap. It was over Mario Bautista's glove. It scored Alex Crosby from first. Zach Collier reached 3rd on the throw. The Blue Crabs had a runner on 3rd base with 1 out, but Joe DeLuca could not come through. He went down on strikes with a runner on 3rd base. Well, the game remained 1-0 until the 4th. Dilson Herrera knocked a single through the right side for a base hit. That scored Steven Alameus. Ricardo Cespedes then doubled on a deep fly ball to right. The scoring kept on moving, though, as Andres Noriega grounded out to Michael Baca. It was a 3-1 game at that point. Antoine Duplantis kept the party going for the FerryHawks in the bottom of the 5th, hitting a home run to right field. Well, the Blue Crabs fall 4-1 tonight. We're going to go back through a couple of the key players for the Blue Crabs at the plate. There weren't many to discuss. The Blue Crabs had a couple of walks in addition to their hits. Braxton Lee 1 for 4. Michael Wolanski, his hit streak ends, but he does have an on-base streak now of 15 games as he reaches. Jared Walker 0 for 4. David Harris 1 for 3. He also walked today. Alex Crosby was 0 for 4. He reached base on a fielder's choice and came around to score a run. Zach Collier 1 for 3. He also drove in the lone run of this game. He reached on a walk, but went down on strikes to end the game. Joe DeLuca, he's been really good and really consistent this year, but 0 for 2 tonight. And Ryan Haug was 1 for 3. Michael Baca 0 for 2. He reached on a walk. Is there a player you look to tonight, Andrew, and you say, hey, he had a pretty solid game despite the circumstances?
Yeah, I think all things considered, you take away that 4th inning and it's Eddie Butler. It's a guy in Eddie Butler that had a perfect game through 8 outs this evening, looked pretty sharp throughout the contest, but more than anything, just wasn't able to get it done in 1 inning of action. Given what we've seen out of Southern Maryland at this point in the season, you would have expected the offense to come back storming hot at the end of the game. It can't happen every night. It didn't happen this evening, but a good outing there from Eddie Butler. And now you start thinking about the fact tomorrow, Austin, we go into the exact situation that we had today with the magic number at 2. You were expecting, at the very least, it to dwindle the one with either a Blue Crabs win or a Ducks loss. Both would have gotten them to a clinch. But here this evening, we find ourselves in the exact same spot we woke up in.
Well, Blue Crabs will have their work cut out for them tomorrow as they take on the FerryHawks once again at 6:30 p.m. Hopefully we don't have a rain delay in store tomorrow. That rain delay delayed our game by an hour this evening. Well, I wish everybody a pleasant good evening as we sign off on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. And, Andrew, we end, as always, by saying, let's go Blue Crabs. Good night, everybody.